Hi everyone. I'll just wait for a sec, wait for the notification to say that I'm going live. And we're going to talk about Mahalia's story. This is more information that I've just become more aware of in regards to her opt-outs. So today we're running the campaign to take Mahalia off the card. And you would have seen in the post below to ring Anne Ruston's office or Maurice Payne's office. Hi Tina, how you going? Don't mind the dings, I'm still going to get messages coming through from other people. So what I wanted to talk about here is some of the other issues that Mahalia has faced. So when trying to flee domestic violence in Hervey Bay, in order to get over to WA and then get set up again, Mahalia accessed a Centrelink advance payment. Now, we're all able to access advance payments. However, for those on the cashless debit card, it is held against you when you put in for your opt-out, as it was explained in Mahalia's first rejection letter was based on the fact that she had applied for an advance payment. That is not fair. It's cruel because, you know, all of us use our advance payments throughout the year to be able to pay car rego or to do things. In this case, Mahalia used it to buy a car at the same time as she got her L's, and she hasn't been able to get her license because she hasn't been able to pay for the driving lessons because she can't pay for the driving lessons on the car. So she sent me the information, and they're contradictory in how they explain why you've been, you've been failed in your rejection. Hang on just a second, guys, hang on. Okay, so I'm back. So, like, the first letter she got, after careful consideration, it's been determined that you do not qualify for exit under the Act, right? The letter is to notice of decision under the Act and giving the information. Okay. Participant can be exited from the cashless debit card program if the secretary is satisfied that the participant can demonstrate reasonable and responsible management. Okay. Well, it's here. As the delegate of the secretary, I have considered your application against the criteria under the section 124 PHB 3 Act, and I'm not satisfied at this time that if you have demonstrated reasonable and responsible management of your affairs, including financial affairs. Accordingly, I've decided to refuse to determine that you are not a trial participant, and the reasons given below. The assessment took into account the following information. Information supplied in the application form, cashless debit card data, including cashless debit card hotline information, transfer details, transactions and card information, claims made by you in the telephone interview, Services Australia data, including payment data, personal details, employment history, education status and deduction data. Okay, so then we go to part 2. Against each of the matters, the assessment found that the interests of your children appear to be met. Tick. Okay, there are no indicators to suggest that you have been any periods of incarceration or conviction. Tick. It is not considered that you may be at risk of homelessness. Well, they've certainly been doing that lately, right? There is no evidence to suggest your health and safety or the health or safety of the community is a matter of concern. Tick. You met the obligations in relation to your payment, and there is no evidence to indicate you are not appropriately engaged in the community. Tick. Right? there is evidence that you are not managing your financial responsibilities due to the high number of declined transactions and the need for an urgent and advance payment. So because she accessed an advance payment while fleeing domestic violence and trying to get reset up in a strange town, all right, get herself a little car to get herself mobile and independent, okay, and try and buy furniture and bedding and things like that, you know, the things you need when you walk into an empty house, that was held against her. But the contradiction is that, there are no indicators to suggest that you have any periods of incarceration. The needs of her children are being met. So what is going on here where now the needs of her children are being denied by the department, right? Because she can't use the card in that town, right, to pay for food. So this is getting ridiculous. This is just getting beyond a joke because they're denying her the ability to be able to do the right thing. And she's doing everything in her power to do the right thing here. She's using all of her 20%, and it's stretched as far as it can possibly go. You know, in the last few weeks, 20%'s had to pay for rent, transport, food, shopping, everything. The only two bills that are not affected are her gas and her electricity, which she has set up on payments. So everything else has been reliant on cash, and it's been a real bloody struggle. All right. So then she sent me, like, this was the emails that they responded, but then she sent me the actual screenshots of the hard letters that she got. Okay. So on the 11th of November, 2020, make note of this date, on the 11th of November. All right. We need more information to make a decision about your application to exit the cashless debit card program. Don't mind me, this is a sideways email. Right? You need to provide the following by the 3rd of November. See the difference in the dates? So they wanted her to upload bank statements, which she'd already done. And she did again, okay? They wanted her personal bank statements. They're obsessed with your personal bank statements. And if you try and redact your personal information, they reject it. My attitude is, I'm being the advocate here. All right? And yes, she's gone to local MPs. All right, now, so the situation that you have is that they sent her a letter out on the 11th of November expecting documentation to be put in by the 3rd of November. So then the next one that she got, right, was the 4th of December 2020, right? The decision has been made to not exit you from the cashless debit card program. This is because you did not give us the documentation we asked you by the 4th of December 2020, right? So obviously there was a typo in the 11th of November letter, and she just took it as being 4th of December anyway, right? So the result is she did supply that documentation by the 4th of December. She uploaded that information, but like with all the rent stuff that she'd just gone through, she kept uploading and uploading and uploading, and they kept saying, we're not getting it, or you've run out of time. I saw one letter where they sent her the 28th of April, I think it was, and it was due on the 4th of May. She uploaded the documentation in time, and they turned around and said, oh, no, we can't accept it because you didn't upload it before the 28th of April. It's like, but the date on the form clearly said 4th of May. So they are misleading people, confusing people, and putting the wrong dates on letters. This is hard copy letters. I've got them in front of me right here. All right. So she gets this letter in the mail, which, bear in mind, would have taken 7 to 10 days to get to her, okay, because it's a hard copy, saying 4th of December is when the letter was dated, saying that she'd been knocked back, she hadn't uploaded the information by the 4th of December, right? This is just beyond stupidity. It means that they will make up any excuse to keep people on the phone, on the card. Do you know what I mean? They will do anything to keep people on the card. This is, I mean, she had a choice. She could have stayed in Hervey Bay in that domestic violence situation and then ended up homeless with her children, or she fled and got a home for her and her children and then has been hindered all the way through. Now, the other thing about too many declines. Well, the damn card wouldn't work at IGA when she went to buy food. Decline, decline, decline. You know what I mean? And it declined, and it still declines to this day. And this poor woman's been going through this since 2019. It's not good enough. So, everybody here, please keep ringing the department. Take Mahalia off the card once and for all, because you're contradicting your own things here in regards to her reasons for being kept on the card, right? Don't fit, because she's, she's not, well, at that time, she was not considered at risk of homelessness, but if they keep stuffing her around with her rent, that she will be at risk of homelessness, all right? But there is no evidence to suggest, the needs of her children are being met. There's no risk here to her children. So it's very contradictory. And it's about the declined transactions, which is their fault, right? And then penalising somebody for accessing an advance payment, which is your own money. The only thing is you get, depending on which payment you're on, if you're on Job Seeker, you can access it once a year. I believe it's $500 once a year. You pay it back and it's yours. It comes out of your money. It's reduced out of your payments, right? Then on top of that, you've got, if you're on a disability, you get them twice a year. And I use mine twice a year. So I'm absolutely appalled that they're holding this against people who use their advance payments, especially single parents. Because single parents have to buy stuff for their kids. They wait for their advance payments. They get their advance payments on their payment, and they get an advance payments access on their family tax aid payments as well. This enables parents to be able to go out and buy new clothes and pay school fees or pay car registration, all sorts of things, It's just ridiculous. So today is Take Mahalia Off the Card Day. Keep calling, and we're not going to stop. We're not going to stop, and we're not going to stop fighting to get people off this card. This card has to stop, because in inbox just now, I've got to go and talk to another card holder who has been forced back onto the card, right, in another state. And she'd left Bundaberg before the card rolled out. And, yeah, she'd already done the fight to get off the card, got off the card last year, and they're putting it back on it. I've got a young woman who's just 18, just signed her first lease in Brisbane. As soon as she uploaded her rent certificate, bang, she was put on the card. Why they didn't put her on the card, this is what her parents have said to me when she was still in Bundaberg, they don't know. They waited till she signed a lease, uploaded a rent certificate to get sorted out with Centrelink, then bang, got on the card, right? Now, at first they said she could pay her rent. Now they've rejected it. They rang about 20 minutes later and said, sorry, we can't pay your rent. I now have a family in Bundaberg trying to pay the rent for their daughter in Brisbane who is disabled, who moved there to be closer to specialists. But they're trying to keep their own home, and their other 4 kids going as well. And they've just been given notice to move because the owner wants to move back in. We have a housing crisis, and this is risking the whole lot going homeless. This is not good enough. There is people all over this country. And if you are a card holder and you are having problems, please contact me. If you are in the Hinkler region, I'm happy to come and meet you, right, and do an interview type thing with you. I've got something in the works, and I do need to get people's stories. And I would also, if in the Hinkler region, maybe if card holders would like to attend a certain meeting with me in the future, I would like that as well. So got some things working behind the scenes I can't discuss, but I need to be able to get out there and do this on the ground with card holders in my region. unfortunately, I can't get everywhere, right? Yeah, so, you know, take Mahalia off the card, let Mahalia off the card. Twitter, TikTok, it's on TikTok, it's on Twitter. SN7's running campaign on Twitter. Pick up that phone and ring and just put pressure on, okay? I spoke briefly to Marcus Paul 2SM on radio this morning about it, and yeah, there's stuff in the works there which I'll let you know. But this has got to stop. We've got to stop this card. It is causing too much damage to good people who are just trying to survive on an income that isn't survivable in the first place, right? You know, the numbers are, Julie, the numbers are in the post below this thread on our main page here. The numbers are there. Just click underneath the post where it says see more, and the numbers are there for Anne Ruston's office and Miss Payne's office. She's supposed to be the Minister for Women. So go to it. All the details are here on the page for people to do that. Okay. If you want to buy a shirt, a sticker or a badge or anything, we need to get some funds into our account. I can't do anything without funds in the account to do anything. All right. I'm tapped out, guys. I cannot put any more of my own money into this. I mean, yeah. So whatever assistance people can help with, please message the page. We are having a Zoom meeting tonight with some people, but we want to also do other Zoom meetings. Zoom does cost, and I'd like to be able to reimburse the member that is hosting our Zooms for us so that she doesn't have to pay it out of her pension as well. You know what I mean? Things like that. I've had to upgrade. When I started this, I had a 4S phone, prepaid $30 a month phones, and I had a little internet dongle. Do you know what I mean? And I've had to upgrade everything to full-on NBN, right, and a modern phone and everything like that. And yeah, I cover the costs myself most of the time, but it's difficult sometimes. And it's like, you know, we have people that have helped us along the way, and I mean, we'll probably do the Christmas parties again, that sort of thing. But we need to be able to function throughout the year so that I can go and do stuff for people when I can get in the car and drive and go there and do it. But it's very difficult. You know what I mean? All right. Hashtag take Mahalia off the card and don't let up. Okay? Don't let up. And we won't let up all week because this is a marathon, not a sprint. Right? But we need people power behind us. You know, you can scroll down the page and you can see where Senator Rachel Seaward went to town on them in the Senate last week over this. We went to town on them in regards to the rent. Finally, they let her pay rent. She was able to pay 2 weeks' worth. Whether or not that's going to be able to be done again next fortnight, we all have to wait until it's time for her to try and pay her rent again. All right. The best thing here to do is to let Mahalia off the card. And others that you're sticking on it in the boondocks and in places where the card is, where the person's all on their own, just stop the damn card. It's just, this is just ridiculous. It is hurting towns. It is hurting people. It is hurting children, right? It's breaching international human rights here. Mahalia's rights are being breached right as we speak, right? And it's not good enough. They are in violation of Article 11 of the International Human Rights, and this, you know, Mahalia has a right to be protected under the covenant. Australia's ratified it, so therefore she has a right to social security. She should be able to access food, medical. She should be able to pay for her driver's lessons. She should be able to pay the school fees or a bus fare or food. You know, instead she gets a Spanish Inquisition because she sent $50 to her dad, right, for food and fuel, because somebody's got to go and pick the stuff up from the next town. She's still got to pay these people back. And then she gets, oh, what was that $50 for? Why did you send your dad $50 for? You know, it's just, ridiculous. So go to it, guys. Have a good day. And yeah, let us know what sort of response you get back from the minister's office. All right. Yeah, I'll leave it to you guys. Thanks, people. See ya.